Real secrets to attracting women without compromising your standards. I want you to understand that you can attract your ideal woman, especially and most importantly, if you do not compromise your standards. Many times we think that we have to compromise our standards in order to make something work. But in relationship, it's not about making something work. It's about letting something happen to see if it fits to be with you. And that's where we go wrong after 7 years of me coaching in this industry, men, over 3,000 men, and coaching and having successful results with men in attraction. What I've realized so much is men come from this energy, and I can understand why. I'll get into that later, but they come from this energy of I need to make this happen, this doing energy in order to get the result that I want. Because this energy works in their success, in their careers, in their health, in their gym activities, in their friendships, maybe. But when it comes to women and their relationships, it does not. It actually does the opposite. It can actually make you avoidant, put up a wall, or make you become needy. So I'm going to talk about how to ideally, really, gentlemen, attract the woman without compromising your standards any longer. Hello, gentlemen. My name is Apollonia Ponti, and I am a dating, relationship, and attraction coach for men. I've been doing this, like I said, for over 7 years. And if you want to check out some of my work and my bunch of testimonials that I have for men, there's a link in the description box that you can visit if this is your first time. And also, if this is your first time, I'm going to ask you to click that subscribe button and comment below, even my followers too, as I love to interact with you when I post videos. So let's get into it. I want to really preface this and really say that before I get into number one, it's really important that when you are a man that doesn't compromise his standards, the number one rule is, of course, to understand that you will find a woman that you are physically attracted to. Many men think that my first value or the first thing I look for in a woman is I need to be physically attracted to her. Obviously, that goes without saying, right? Like, you're not going to buy a house that doesn't fit your budget. You're not going to buy a house that doesn't fit your needs. That goes beyond, like, what is the inside of the house? Is it built well? Is the roof been, replaced, or is it a new roof? Like, we have to look at what's inside the house, because the outside is just going to come to you because it's there and it's appealing and you're just going to be attracted to it. What we do is we do opposite, is we don't see what's inside the house and we make the outside, the number one thing in order to make this work. So that goes into my first one, gentlemen, is understanding that your new standard has to be this, is that knowing that her beauty is great and all, and her being fun is amazing, and you can have fun with any woman. And there's plenty of beautiful women out there. But yet, you have to also understand that her fun and beauty doesn't qualify her only to be the woman that you want to be with. I've seen so many amazing, respectful, high value men that think that like they're not going to get the woman that they want. And this is what I have to say is everybody has a taste, everybody has a style. But when we open ourselves up to what's inside the house, we will see past the outside first and not get so taken in by this illusion of beauty that we get so addicted to it that we overcompensate and make excuses for what's inside the house. A high value man actually wants to not compromise his standards because he knows in order to build a home, in order to build a family, in order to build a life, he needs the woman to have substance inside, not just outside. Number two, in order to really attract the woman and not compromise your standards anymore, men, is you have to know the difference between superficial needs and sustainable needs. Okay. It's super important because superficial needs can be like, oh, well, I have fun with her. We talk a lot about things in life, but really, what are sustainable needs that you have? Like, I need a woman that is great with conflict resolution. And if she isn't, like, we find a compromise on how to make things better. I need a woman also too that is invested in life and whatever that may be. If she wants to be a Pilates instructor, if she wants to be a nurse, if she wants to be a teacher, if she wants to be an engineer, if she wants to be an architect, if she wants to be a stay-at-home mom, whatever the case may be, you have to understand that you want a woman that has a sustainable needs, that knows that what life that she wants to create. She has a vision and a purpose for what she wants from a relationship. And she's not living in this victim mentality of placing blame on people, right? You're looking at things as though I have to, when we get, to sustainable needs, we look at things as though, who is the woman in front of me? But when we get into superficial needs when we're dating women, is how can I make her like me? It's such a mindset shift when we go into sustainable needs. But understand too, gentlemen, in order to attract this, in order to see this, you also have to be clear with what are your needs too within life and relationship and so much more. And it's not to say that a woman must do this for you because you have to fulfill your own needs before anybody else can, that's for sure. But also too, it's really more about how can I set the standard for myself to basically meet these needs so then when I do attract that woman, she's going to understand this subconsciously because I'm already meeting her there. So either she meets me here or and we level up together. You see? Number three is having a purpose in life that is bigger than a woman. I see this so much, and I've been saying this. I think I've done this. You opened up this YouTube channel 6 years ago, and one of my first 5 videos was all about how men need to have purpose. And I remember always remembering this is that you know, men come from different walks of life. Women come from different walks of life. People, we should say, right? And I want to be really clear about something, gentlemen. It's not that you have to have a purpose stamped, sealed, delivered, and a woman is going to choose you. And you're abundant and you're a high value man now that you have a purpose, right? No, it takes sometimes years, months for someone to find their purpose. And also, purposes can change. Purposes can change. And so the other thing too, gentlemen, is I want you to realize this, is that even if you have a purpose or even if you have a passion and you're working towards it, it is still attractive. You always want to have something that brightens your day, your life, your years, your months, and your weeks in your life. Something that you look forward to. And your purpose doesn't have to be like your best friend purpose of this whole entrepreneur and he's building this six-figure business because honestly, that's not always rainbow and butterflies because it's difficult. But also, gentlemen, you want the purpose that is going to be fulfilling to you. What is that? And women admire a man that sees something that is admirable and works towards it. And even if he fails, tries again or tries something different, but he has this spirit of, I'm not going to give up. And he's reluctant and he's compassionate with himself, but at the same time, he's a go getter. Okay. This is so, so, so important. So don't compromise your standards in the face of a woman. And that means do never compromise your purpose. The fourth one is this is only during the dating stages before women kill me for saying this, but I mean it only in the dating stages, women and men, is I don't want you to limit yourself, gentlemen. What I mean by this is I don't want you to look at the woman that you're gone on 1 or 2 or maybe even 3 dates with as the only option, especially if you're someone that is new to dating. So I have men, I have some men that are in my algorithm of attraction course and either got out of a marriage or a long-term relationship. And one of them had been married for like 22 years, okay? And he came into this group coaching program called my algorithm of attraction where we do weekly calls and they have so much great results in this program. But one of the things here is he was a man that didn't even know how to attract a woman anymore because it's been 22 years. And let's be honest, 22 years ago, it was a lot different, right? So he was confused and didn't really know if he really wanted to be in a relationship. And his goal was just to go out there, have fun, talk to women, get to know who he is as a single man. And now he's putting himself out there talking to 2 or 3 women. These women are liking him. He's being open. He's like, Apollonia, I just don't think I want a relationship right now. I want to just see and figure out what I want because I need to figure out what I need. And so I tell him, as long as you're open and honest to women about this, this is important. So understanding that you're not looking at the woman that you're dating as the only option because you know what direction you're headed. But then we have men in there that are actually looking for relationships too. And so I have another gentleman that's in there and he's dating, and this always happens to every guy. And if you're a guy that has taken and have had success with the algorithm of attraction, most of the time, 95% of those guys do, especially if they've graduated and actually committed to the program. Mark my word, I've seen this on every single one of my men that have graduated. They actually get so many results that towards the end, when they're about to find their partner, they actually start dating like 2 or 3 high value women. And they're like, holy crap, all of these women are amazing. Apollonia, what do I do? And this is what I mean. A lot of men think that, oh, if I'm not getting results, it's the worst than getting results. Well, we can beg to differ, right? We can also to argue to that. But at the same time, When we start getting results, it actually becomes more challenging because we also have the pressure to make the right decision. And that's what I say is like you have to be honest if they're saying if you're dating anybody, you also else then you want to be able to be honest about that. One time, one of these gentlemen asked me if they should be honest. I said 1000%. The woman said, I'm starting to like you. They went on 3 or 4 dates. Are you dating anyone else? And he said, yes. He's like, have you been intimate? He's like, I haven't yet. He's like, okay, well, I won't be intimate with you until you make a decision, but I'm also not going to be sticking around. And so she was very mature about it, but also was like, I want something long term in the future. And he's like, I do too. I want something sustainable. I want something long term. I want a marriage. And I'm dating to find my wife. And that's why I'm dating you. And I totally understand if it's hard to hear, but I also want to tell you the truth. Completely honest, they ended up together because that partnership, that communication grew them a lot closer. And she was so much more open to the idea of, oh, I understand where this is coming from. But she loved his honesty. And so here's the thing, gentlemen, is like, I can't stress this enough, is like when you are a good man and you know what you want and you've been through my algorithm attraction program, you know your values, you're not compromising your standards anymore. You're going to get to a point where you're attracting great women. And it gets sometimes even harder to pick that really good woman. And you have to go not with here, not with down there, but what's here. Your intuitive, your gut too. Okay, gentlemen, this is so important, especially when you have the right tools behind your back. If you want to join my algorithm attraction program, you can book a free consultation call to see if you're a good fit. I'll link it right below. Hop on a call with us and really find out more about the program, and we'll tell you a little bit about the program. We'll see if you're a good fit. Let's move on. The other one is how to attract a woman without compromising your standards is really being true to your word and also to asserting your truth at times. Okay. So, one of the most important things is understanding that vulnerability lies within your confidence. And when you feel confident about a certain situation in your life because you've grown from it and you look at it as a positive, this is where you're going to be able to share a vulnerable moment with a moment and also actually own your truth. When you share something, it gives the opener for another person to share and feel closer to you. And ideally, what happens here is that when you become also too true to your word, you show that you're a man of dignity. You show that you're a man of no compromise. And also, too, this provides structure not only for yourself, but for the woman. And when you become true to your word, you have more direction to see if this woman is a good fit. Is she true to her word? Is she flaky? Is she really not the person for you? Or is she? Because a lot of times when we go into dating and we start compromising our standards, the reason why we start compromising our standards, you gentlemen as men, is because you're trying to make something work. And ideally, it's because of my first tip, because you're blinded by the outside of the house, the body, the butt, the boobs, the beauty, right? And so I have to have fun with you guys. So one of the things here is just you always have to remember. I'm going to be honest with you guys, and here's where it can get controversial, I guess, is society has trained men to look at the outside of the house. Plain and simple. You have been baited. I made this reel on Instagram and it went viral. It's about how men need to be smart about their own algorithm on Instagram. Like, what are you looking at? What are you focusing on? And those Instagram models, the OnlyFans stuff, like all that stuff is going to portray your vision and your reality of what structure will look like in the face of a woman that you want to be with, especially men. If you want to be in a relationship, you have the capability and you have the need to ask for wanting to feel safe in a relationship, wanting to feel loved in a relationship, wanting to feel respected in a relationship. But in order to do so, you need to supply that for yourself. Because dabbling in pornography, dabbling in OnlyFans, dabbling in call girls, what do they call them? Is not going to be a structure that's always going to make you feel safe. It gives a high and then an ultimate low, right? So of course you're going to attract relationships like that. Next, that's a whole nother video. Next. Oh, I love this one. Knowing the difference between disrespect and ego. Okay. This is super important for you, gentlemen. This is the key to attracting women without compromising your standards. The key. Okay. Many times I see men saying, oh, this woman disrespected me. Oh, she's disrespecting me. And it's actually coming from ego. Okay. An ego means I want something to be a certain way. And since it's not this certain way and I'm not getting this result, I'm going to blame her or I'm going to try to control the situation to make it work. That is ego. Ego is also a quote unquote protection of I don't want to be disrespected. I don't want to be a simp. I don't want to be taken advantage of. And so you think, and you've made up a story in your head that because she said she was going to call you at 3 when she was out with her girlfriends having mimosas and she didn't, she's disrespecting you. But who knows? Maybe she's having fun and she totally forgot and she's going to come home to you anyways for dinner at 7 p.m. What's the big deal? That comes off controlling too, right? And so here's the thing is understanding like disrespect really relies on understanding that someone blatantly is disrespecting you with their words or mental emotions, physical emotions, and everything else. Disrespect looks like putting you down. Disrespect looks like belittling. Disrespect looks like gaslighting. Disrespect looks like avoiding. Disrespect looks like lying, right? So it's funny how sometimes we think a situation is disrespectful because the situation isn't actually going how we want it, and that is the basis, the foundation of control. We want to control an outcome, and instead, what we have to do in relationship is we always have to let go, because the moment we let go, we can see how that other person shows up and either fall more in love with them or see that maybe they're not the right one for us. The next one, in regards to really attracting a woman without compromising her standards, that my husband actually did to me, was give her a piece of your life and see if she takes part in it. See if she invests a little bit in it and vice versa. I remember when me and my husband first started dating, he really liked basketball and I had no idea about basketball. So he took me to my first basketball game and I actually enjoyed it. So I wanted to know more about the game. So obviously I was asking him questions and everything. Now I'm a huge basketball fan, right? Doesn't mean the woman that you take to on a sporting event is going to become a fan, but she invests in little things with you. For example, my sister and her boyfriend. He's a big outdoorsy guy. She's really not. She's been to a couple of his events and done a couple of events, and then afterwards, it's like, babe, I loved being there with you and doing it, but this is not for me, right? But she invests a little bit in it. And then also, too, he hurt himself. She invested in a massager for him because it helps him on his hikes. She got him a nice hiking boots for Christmas. So she invests in his pleasures. She invests in his things that he enjoys in life, right? And it doesn't have to be monetary either. There's little ways that a woman can invest in your life. So the biggest key to a lot of men that they don't do this is share a piece of your life with a woman and see if she takes an investment in it. It's also a test. Like if you're a guy that loves to golf, and you go golfing 2, 3 times a week. I don't know if you have time for that, but you know what I mean. And she notices it. Maybe she goes on the golf court with you one day, or she wants to learn some golf. She takes a liking to it, or she doesn't take a liking to it, but she does other things, right? She's like, she knows that you want to see the golfing game. So they're playing the golfing game at this restaurant that she wants to try anyways. So you see what I mean? Like there's some type of understanding about the things that you like in life, and she's wanting to fit those things in too because she knows that it makes you happy. And if she knows it makes you happy, it makes her happy in return to see you enjoying these things in life. That's how you truly understand if someone is there for you full heartedly. And also, this grows attraction. Last two are here, okay, gentlemen, is knowing your weaknesses and strengths. Do you know your weaknesses and your strengths? Because in order for you not to compromise your standards in attraction, you have to know what makes you weak in your dating life, what makes you weak in your relationships, and what makes you strong in your relationships, and what makes you strong in dating. Because if you don't know the differences, I would encourage you today, after this video, put a line down the paper, write strengths, write weaknesses, dating and relationship. What are they? And go. And when you write them down and you actually see them face to face, it's actually going to give you a little bit of guidance for the next time you date. Or you can ask yourself, like, where is this coming from? Why do I let this happen? This is how we grow and evolve as humans in relationships, is when we look at ourselves with a magnifying glass and saying, how am I showing up in dating a relationship? Not blaming other people, because you chose those other people, believe it or not, but it's about really you. Last but not least, which is my favorite, is the comfort zone. Oh, this is huge, huge, huge. If you're not going to compromise your standards with a woman, you need to be able to get out of your comfort zone, because the men that don't get out of their comfort zone easily compromise their standards. Getting out of your comfort zone not only builds trust and confidence with yourself, but also too, getting out of your comfort zone really makes you prevail through the uncomfortable. And when we are in a relationship, sometimes when we want something to work, it can get uncomfortable when it doesn't. And so when you get out of your comfort zone, you really test your muscles of really sticking up for yourself, putting yourself first, and so much more. And the confidence is there. You build trust with yourself by being disciplined and having to get out of your comfort zone. And that's how humans build trust within themselves without also too working on themselves. But this is so big to not compromising your standards. So, gentlemen, I want to ask you today, if there's any one of these that you think that stood out to you or you want to work on, comment below. Or also two ones that you think that belong in this video, I want to hear from you. Comment those below. And if this is your first time visiting, I welcome you to subscribe to this channel as always. I love hearing from you. So if you want to continue watching some videos on this channel, I have this video right over here. The type of men that toxic women bait. I would highly encourage you to watch this next video as this is a good one. As always, I'll see you in the next one. And remember, you are always loved. Bye for now.